Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Chelsea and Adam give into temptation. Again? They feel guilty, but also can't stop thinking about that night in Baltimore. So will they have another slip-up in the bedroom? History has taught us that when it comes to secret affairs on the Young and the Restless, they tend not to remain a secret for too long, and they always cause chaos. Additionally, the affairs usually aren't just one-time occurrences. Take for example the epic love triangle of Nick, Joshua Morrow, Sharon Case, and Phyllis, Michelle Stafford. What started out as a mistake one night between Nick and Phyllis led to the pair having an ongoing affair and conceiving Summer, eventually destroying his marriage to Sharon. Phyllis and Nick would eventually repeat history by having an affair together years later, while he was engaged to remarry Sharon. That marriage never came to be. In more recent soap history, Daniel, Michael Graziadei, and Heather Vale Bloom let one night of passion behind Lily's Crystal Khalil back lead to #Deather, rekindling a full-fledged romance. Lily was left crushed when she found out the truth, and Daniel and Heather were fired as Lily was their boss. Having said all of this, it seems unlikely that Chelsea, Melissa Claire Egan, and Adam's Mark Grossman cheating scandal in Baltimore is a one-time thing. Yes, they both have expressed they made a huge mistake that night and were only caught up in the moment of trying to comfort each other after receiving the bad news about Connor, Judah Mackey. Additionally, Chelsea pledged her undying love for Billy, Jason Thompson, while Adam did the same for Sally, Courtney Hope. But again, this is the soap world, and Chelsea and Adam have too much history together to write that moment off as if it means nothing. As much guilt as Adam and Chelsea are carrying around about what they've done, with Adam almost confessing to Sally and Chelsea practically unraveling in front of Sally in the episode airing on July 12, Adam and Chelsea can't stop thinking about what happened. They both keep having flashbacks to that hotel room. The images come in waves, and we tend to think the more they have them, the more they'll start to recall how good it felt to be together. Not for nothing, it wasn't that long ago when Chelsea, not Sally, was built up as the love of Adam's life. So could a reunion be in the works? If we had to guess, we'd say yes. We just aren't certain of the timeline. Plus, we suspect that either Chelsea or Sally will wind up pregnant soon, so depending on who winds up carrying a child, that could determine how this messy web of love untangles. If Chelsea gets pregnant, Adam may suspect it's his child and take it as a sign that they should be together. However, if Sally is expecting soon, then Adam could feel obligated to stay with her to help ensure a smooth pregnancy after what happened to baby Ava. However, he'd probably be left pining away for Chelsea. This is all speculation at this point, but you better believe we are paying attention to the show clues. Fans may be in for quite the #Chatham drama. In the quiet corners of Genoa City, where secrets are whispered among the shadows and desire simmers beneath the surface, Chelsea and Adam's tumultuous relationship once again stands on the brink of rekindling. The air is thick with anticipation, and their past, laden with love and betrayal, clings to them like an unwelcome ghost. Chelsea Lawson had tried to move on. She had poured her energy into her fashion line, hoping that the whirlwind of creativity would drown out thoughts of Adam Newman. She had even dabbled in dating, seeking solace in the arms of men who, no matter how kind or charming, could never quite measure up to the man who haunted her dreams. Adam, with his magnetic charm and dark intensity, was a hard habit to break. Adam, on the other hand, had his own demons to wrestle. His relationship with Sally Spectra had been passionate, but his mind often wandered back to Chelsea. He found himself reminiscing about their stolen moments of joy, the way her laughter used to light up his world, and the depths of connection they once shared. It was a connection he couldn't seem to replicate with anyone else, no matter how hard he tried. Their paths, as if guided by an unseen force, began to converge again. It started with innocent encounters. A chance meeting at Crimson Lights, a brief exchange of pleasantries at the park. Each encounter left them both feeling a little off-kilter, a little more aware of the unresolved tension between them. One particularly rainy afternoon, Chelsea found herself at the door of Adam's penthouse. She had intended to discuss Connor, their son. But as she stood there, the sound of the rain tapping against the windows seemed to amplify the silence between them. Adam opened the door, his eyes locking onto hers with that familiar intensity that made her heart skip a beat. "Chelsea," he greeted, his voice a mixture of surprise and something else she couldn't quite place. "Adam, we need to talk about Connor," she replied, trying to keep her voice steady. He stepped aside to let her in, and as she walked past him, she could feel the electricity crackling in the air. They sat down on the couch, the conversation starting with their son but inevitably drifting towards their past. "Do you ever think about what we had?" Chelsea asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "Every day," Adam admitted, his gaze unwavering. "But we can't keep doing this to ourselves, Chelsea. We can't keep falling into the same patterns." "Maybe those patterns mean something," she countered, her eyes searching his for answers. Their words hung in the air, heavy with unspoken emotions. Adam reached out, his hand gently brushing against hers. The touch sent a jolt through both of them, a reminder of the fire that had never really died. Chelsea's breath hitched, and before she knew it, they were leaning towards each other, the pull between them irresistible. Their lips met in a kiss that was both familiar and exhilarating. It was as if all the pent-up longing and unresolved feelings had finally found an outlet. They clung to each other, the world outside fading away as they lost themselves in the intensity of the moment. As they pulled apart, breathless and wide-eyed, reality crashed back in. Chelsea's mind raced with conflicting thoughts. She wanted this, wanted him, but she also knew the pain that often followed their moments of passion. "We can't do this," she whispered, though her body edged to stay in his embrace. "I know," Adam replied, his voice filled with regret. "But I can't seem to stay away from you." Days turned into weeks, and the temptation between them only grew stronger. They tried to maintain their distance, but fate seemed to have other plans. Their encounters became more frequent, each one more charged than the last. It was as if the universe was conspiring to bring them back together, no matter how hard they fought against it. One evening, after a particularly intense argument about Connor, Chelsea found herself back at Adam's penthouse. The anger and frustration had given way to an overwhelming need to be close to him. They stood in the middle of the living room, the tension between them palpable. "This has to stop," Chelsea said, her voice trembling. "I know," Adam replied, stepping closer, "but what if it doesn't? What if we're meant to be together, despite everything?" Before she could respond, his lips were on hers again, and all thoughts of resistance melted away. They moved towards the bedroom, shedding their fears and doubts along with their clothes. In each other's arms, they found solace, a momentary escape from the chaos of their lives. As dawn broke, Chelsea lay beside Adam, her mind a whirlwind of emotions. She knew that this couldn't last, that their love was as destructive as it was passionate, but in that moment she couldn't bring herself to let go. "We're going to hurt each other again," she murmured, tracing circles on his chest.